Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over the 10 fastest supercars for racing in GTA Online. The statistical information in today's video is coming from GTAbase.com, and a lot of that information is from Bruffy1322 here on YouTube. Go check them both out, links are in the description down below. Now in this video we're going to be primarily focusing on track and circuit performance, but top speed will be factored in and mentioned for all the vehicles on this list as well. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, dislike if you don't, and consider subscribing if you guys are new. With that being said, let's go. Starting us off, we have the Annis S80RR for $2,575,000, and the Annis S80RR is an extremely high downforce race car style vehicle. It's rear wheel drive, but it has really high downforce, making the handling and the grip levels of the car really awesome. It handles well at both low and high speed. It's a single seater, which is kind of odd and quite rare for the supercar category, or really any category in GTA Online, and it has some pretty decent customization options available for it as well. It's a pretty good car for the money, but it does have a weaker top speed of only 123 miles per hour, so this car is probably going to be best used on twistier and short circuits. For circuits with longer straightaways and things like that, the S80 is not going to be the best car to pick, that's for sure. Moving on, we have the Dubachi Wagner for $1,575,000, and this is one of the best bang for your buck performance supercars in all of GTA Online. It has a 126.5 mile per hour top speed, which is pretty dang good for a vehicle that's as old as this thing is and that costs as much as it does. 126.5 miles per hour is definitely above average for the supercar category, so that's really awesome to see. This car is extremely lightweight, maybe even the lightest feeling car in the entire game. It makes other lightweight cars like the S80, for example, kind of feel heavy comparatively, and it has really high downforce to pair with this, so it's pretty much the best of both worlds. An extremely light car with a lot of downforce. There's nothing to not love about that. It's pretty good looking, and it does have some nice customization options available for it as well, and it sounds pretty awesome. It can definitely outperform a lot more expensive cars on the track and put up pretty good lap times. Again, all things considered, this is a track weapon in GTA Online, and this is definitely one that I would recommend owning. Moving on, we have the Grotti Turismo Omaggio for $2,845,000. Now, this is one of the fastest non-HSW supercars in GTA Online, but this car does come with a couple of caveats. One being is that this car is probably only going to be good on circuits that are overly twisty with really short straightaways, and the reason for that is because it does have a pretty limited top speed of only 122.5 miles per hour. But it makes up for this with some of the best handling on any car ever in GTA Online. Now, it doesn't have especially high downforce, but it does have a ton of grip, and the launch off the line is also excellent, paired with pretty good acceleration. It's a fantastic looking car, maybe even, dare I say, the best looking car in the game, and it's got some really good customization options available for it. The only thing that it really lacks is a secondary color option and a trim color option for the interior. Other than that though, the Omaggio is an absolutely fantastic car in every single way, particularly performance wise. Just stay away from the straightaways with this car because you're going to lose to some of the faster vehicles on this list that we're going to be going over up ahead. Moving on, we got the Benefactor LM87 for $2,910,000, relatively expensive car, but it's one of the best cars purely for racing in GTA Online. Now, that's not to say that it's bad in free mode, but it's particularly awesome when it comes to racing. Now, this thing has extremely high downforce, probably as close to an open wheel car as we'll ever get on a normal vehicle in GTA Online. Pair this with the 127.5 mile per hour top speed, and you've got a pretty good vehicle for racing on your hands already. Not to mention, it's also a one-seater, kind of oddly enough, just like the S80RR, pretty rare like I said earlier, and this thing has pretty good acceleration as well. It's cool looking, it's got a full-blown race car interior and exterior obviously, and all the customization reflects this too. And if you play on Legacy, it has a speed glitch that makes it go way faster than it should. This happens particularly when the front bumper gets damaged, and this thing will just absolutely fly. It's so fast. So if you play on Legacy, I definitely recommend the LM87, more so than I do if you play on Enhanced. Up next, we got the Benefactor Krieger for $2,875,000. This is the second fastest non-HSW supercar in GTA Online, and this car is relatively easy to drive compared to a lot of the other cars that are going to be on this list up ahead, and some of the ones we've already gone over. This is a very beginner-friendly car, so if you're new to GTA, relatively new to racing, anything like that, the Krieger is going to be a pretty good car for you to learn with. Now, one of the reasons that it is simpler and easier to drive is because it has all-wheel drive, and it helps a lot. Whether that's getting off the line or having that extra grip to pull yourself out of a corner, it's really, really good for that reason. It also has a pretty high top speed paired with that all-wheel drive of 128 miles per hour, which is good for a non-HSW supercar, especially for when this thing came out. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of customization with the Krieger. It's got a little bit of stuff, but it is an awesome looking car to begin with, so it doesn't exactly matter a whole lot. Overall, this car has lots of grip, good handling, it's predictable, it's fun to drive, and it's easy. So definitely try out the Benefactor Krieger if you're newer to GTA, or even if you're an established player who's been playing this game for a long time. No matter what, you're going to have a good time with the Benefactor Krieger. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, up next we got the Progen Emirates for $2,750,000. This is $125K cheaper than the Krieger, and these cars are at odds, and they have been ever since they came out. Now, this is the fastest non-HSW supercar in GTA Online when it comes to circuit racing, but it has a big skill curve to get the most out of this car. You're not going to hop in this thing on your first day in GTA Online and just light up the track. It's going to take some learning, and it's going to take some adjustments to make it the perfect car for you. Now, it is rear wheel drive, which automatically is going to make it a little bit more challenging to drive, and it has a 126.75 mile per hour top speed, which is above average, but not that far above average. Now, where this thing has a big advantage over the Krieger is with the downforce. It has a lot of downforce, but it does have a tendency to oversteer and lose control on those lower speed corners, and that's where the learning curve really comes in with this car, is how much acceleration you should be giving it on those lower speed corners versus how much you can give it on the high speed corners. Now, it's an awesome looking car, and it's paired with some really good customization options as well, I would say. Between the Emirates and the Krieger, it really depends how much experience you have in GTA Online, and it honestly comes down to personal preference. The Emirates is a little bit cheaper, but the Benefactor Krieger has a slightly higher top speed, and it's a little bit easier to drive. However, these aren't even the fastest cars in the entire game. These are just the fastest cars on Legacy. But let's go ahead and start talking about some of the HSW cars that are going to be a lot faster than most of the vehicles we've gone over. Next up, we have the overflawed Entity MT for $2,355,000 plus an additional $850,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, this car will not do well on smaller, twistier circuits compared to cars like the LM87, the Emirates, or the Krieger. Likely, it'll only actually be the fourth fastest car in GTA Online for circuit racing, on tracks with extremely long straightaways, and that's because this thing has a very high top speed. And it doesn't exactly have the best handling due to it being rear wheel drive with slightly off-putting handling. It feels a bit slippery, especially if you're going into a corner that's a little bit sharp. Now, it does have great customization and looks, and it has decent downforce at higher speeds, but not as much as something like the LM87, for example. Now, this thing does have a 151.25 mile per hour top speed though, making it technically the second fastest supercar top speed wise. However, there's a caveat with this car, and that is the fact that it has engine resistance, likely copied from the code from the Entity XXR, which was this thing's predecessor. And Rockstar didn't bother to code it out when they put this thing into the game. Now, what this does is it causes the car to shift late, which is going to stunt the acceleration, and it's going to make getting up to that top speed take a lot longer. So the Entity MT is not a car that I really would recommend, but I can't lie, it is one of the fastest supercars in the game, even despite this. Mostly because a lot of these cars that we've gone over previously can't possibly keep up with it just due to that top speed, especially on higher speed circuits. But moving on to the Principe Devastate at number 3 for $1,795,000 plus an additional $1,110,000 for the HSW upgrade on this thing. Now, technically, again, around smaller and twistier circuits, the Progen Emirates or Benefactor Krieger would probably be faster on a per lap basis, due to being a lot smaller and having better handling and downforce than the Devastate. However, generally on stunt racing circuits, you will probably see the Devastate perform a lot better, since it'll be able to get up to its significantly higher top speed compared to many of the other supercars we've gone over. Now, it is rear wheel drive, and it is very heavy and very, very long. It's quite a large and strangely shaped car in general, I would say. But It also feels like it has pretty good downforce, but it's kind of hard to say because the car is actually pretty heavy. But it's hard to gauge whether it's heavy because it's heavy or because it has a lot of downforce and it's heavy. Something that I will say is heavy though is the understeer on this car. So on twisty circuits, this thing is not recommended at all. Use this on circuits that have like 2 or 3 corners, but that's about it. Customization wise, there's a bit that can be done to it, not bad. But overall, I would say it's not going to be the best supercar to race with unless you're on a track with extremely long straightaways. But then again, the cars that we're about to go over on this list are going to be better. Moving on, we have the Pegassi weaponized Ignis for $4,500,000 plus an additional $500,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, this is formerly the fastest supercar for circuit racing. Now, this was mostly due to the fact that this thing has all-wheel drive, and while it has all-wheel drive, it is a little bit heavier feeling, but the all-wheel drive makes it feel pretty responsive still. Now, it doesn't have the most downforce you've ever felt on a car. It feels pretty good to drive, and it feels good in the corners, but it doesn't feel as glued to the ground as the LM87 or the Annis S80RR that we went over earlier. But it does come with a built-in missile lock-on jammer and a roof-mounted minigun, albeit those are things you're going to want in free mode, but I figured I'd mention it. Now, it's pretty similar customization to the regular Pegassi Ignis, but it's worse looking because of the gun on the top, at least in my opinion. But the weaponized Ignis is a fantastic car for racing still. However, it has been dethroned, but we got to go over a dishonorable and an honorable mention before we talk about the #1 fastest supercar for racing in GTA Online. Now, for our dishonorable mention, many of you will have seen this coming. This is, of course, the Coil Cyclone 2 for $2,250,000 plus an additional $475,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, this is technically the 3rd fastest supercar on track, but it is extremely awful to drive. Now, it's very fast because it has great acceleration and a great launch. Those are things that this thing does well. Going in a straight line in the Coil Cyclone 2 is a good thing. You're going to be fine. You're probably going to win every race you ever do. It's probably the best car in a straight line in the entire game even. But the caveat with this car is that it has some of the worst handling and cornering performance of all time in GTA. It has absolutely awful torque steer from the front wheels because they get way too much power, and when you're cornering and accelerating even slightly, this thing is going to want to pull you off to one side or the other. And if you hit the brakes and then hit the gas while turning, it's going to just spin out and send you off into the trees. Now, it's typical for GTA Online electric car handling to be just awful. It seems like every electric car in this game pretty much handles terribly, and this one is no different. It really feels like it has no grip, and it has no downforce at all. It feels like it has absolutely nothing. Now, I will say it is a very cool looking car and it's got some good customization. I like the look of it. I like the straight line performance, but as far as circuit racing goes, this is one you're going to want to absolutely stay away from. Now, for an honorable mention, we have the brand new Progen Luiva for $2,697,500. This thing is a great driver's car in my opinion. It has an active rear spoiler, which looks awesome. It's got great customization, paired with good handling, and it has the highest top speed for a non-HSW supercar in GTA Online now, short of rocket booster vehicles like the Scramjet and Vigilante. But as far as a non-HSW supercar goes, this is the fastest one in the entire game, topping out at 136.25 miles per hour. It's a fantastic looking car, particularly if you put the windshield on it in my opinion. But the Luiva is definitely a good car to own. Now, unfortunately, because it has a high top speed that actually didn't translate very well to lap times, it's not going to be the best car when it comes to those twistier sort of circuits. However, for a non-HSW supercar to race with, on those circuits with longer straightaways and fewer turns, the Luiva might actually have a case to be made as one of the better supercars in GTA Online that are not HSW capable. But of course, the #1 fastest supercar in GTA Online is the brand new Vapid FMJ Mark V. This is going to cost you $2,965,000 plus $1,950,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, that sounds crazy. This is a really expensive car. This is a $5+ million car, which is insane. I believe this actually makes it the most expensive supercar in all of GTA Online. However, you're going to get what you pay for because this is roughly 1 second faster around track than the Pegassi Ignis, and it has a 155.75 mile per hour top speed, making it the highest top speed supercar in all of GTA Online. Pairing this with the very lightweight feeling of the car and the extremely high downforce, This thing is going to carry speed through corners like nothing else. It's rear wheel drive, but you'll barely even notice it because it has so much grip and downforce. The customization is also awesome, and this is definitely going to be the fastest supercar in all of GTA Online for a while to come. If we get a new supercar that's HSW capable whenever the next GTA update comes out, I severely doubt that it will be faster than the FMJ Mark V around circuit, because this thing is actually insane, guys. It is so fast. If you are good at driving in GTA, I think that you will be unstoppable in the FMJ Mark V. Now granted, it's already way faster than every other supercar in GTA Online, but I think with a good driver in the seat as well, this thing is going to light the track up. So anyway guys, there you have it. Those are the 10 fastest supercars for racing in GTA Online. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.